In all the time that I've done this, I think there's always been an understanding that when it comes to selling bikes in a bike shop, we're dealing with disposable income, or the perception of disposable income. And the people that are buying these bikes are, by and large, they're using them for recreation, enjoyment. As much as I would like to think that the bulk are using them for utility and transportation, I know that that's just not the case. There are people, a segment of people out there that do need bicycles for transportation, and they don't ride because they want to. They ride because they have to. It's the only way that they can get around, other than public transportation. So the people that really need a good quality bike the most are not always in a position to afford it, or maybe they can't afford it and they just don't know. No one's there to help them, and they do what a lot of us do when and if we go into these big box stores, which is we see something on the shelf and we just grab it. And I guess today, what I would like to do is hopefully spread some helpful tips for people who are in a position where they can't, necessarily afford to go out and spend $400 or $500 or $600 on a bicycle, and give them some options other than going to a big box store and buying a bike that is not going to perform all that well. So I guess the first thing would be try to find something used. It sounds like an obvious thing, but and I think better than used is maybe try to find a co-op. So we have a bicycle co-op here in Indianapolis called Freewheeling Community Bikes. They take bikes in donations. People donate bikes to them, and they run through them and make sure that mechanically they're up to snuff, and then they put them on their little sales floor and they sell them, and that's what helps in part fund their programs. So that would be a great option, and chances are you're going to find something in one of those situations that could possibly be equivalent in price to a big box store bike, but is going to be a lot better quality and is going to be a lot more serviceable down the road. And then the second thing would be used, but I think you have to be careful. Even people that know what they're looking for can sometimes get burned buying used bicycles. The last thing would be, maybe you are in a position where you just have to get something now when you go to a big box store bike, or a big box store to buy a bike. And if that's the case, then my recommendation is the simpler the better. The simpler bikes that they sell, meaning no suspension, no wacky wheel sizes, watch the depth of the rim. For whatever reason, in the last couple of years, these big box store bikes have started coming with rims that are 2.5 inches tall, and not only did they not carry tubes for those bikes, we didn't have, in the bike shop, we didn't have tubes. And at that time, there were no distributors really that we knew of that were selling tubes that fit those bikes. So, you need to watch out for that stuff. So the simpler the bike is, the more serviceable it's going to be. it's hard because they make those cheap things look good. I mean, even big companies. I remember, I was a Trek dealer for 16 years, and the least expensive road bike that they sold was one of the best looking bikes. That, that $600 and $700 road bike looked like a $1,200 or $1,300 bike. So that's just it. I've been thinking a lot about that lately. Things like this, the same goes for, I could do a whole, different video on infrastructure and how I understand why, cities start infrastructure projects in the nicer areas of town. It's there's a big bulk of the tax base there, and you need to get those people behind the projects and get them using, the infrastructure. But it shouldn't be too long after that they start to branch out into some of the not too nice parts of town, because again, the people that live in those areas are more than likely the ones that aren't using, they're not going out in their activewear and riding. They're using those trails and those bike lanes because they have to. So the chances are, there's not probably many people that are going to watch this that are going to be in that situation. Maybe there are, but maybe somebody that's in that situation, or somebody that knows somebody. Give them a hand. Make sure that they get a good quality bike that serves them like it should for a long time. Thanks for watching. If you like the videos, click subscribe, please, and a thumbs up helps. Until next time. Be nice, work hard, ride bikes, play music when you can.